Jessica Hutchins. That's where we're going to work with the SAASC student org. Talked to her over break, and what she said was, in exchange for us advertising just through our own organizations of these career workshops, which there's 6 of them. Let me tell you that first. Starting February 23rd, and then they go like every other week until April. And they cover all different kinds of job-related workshops. So they're career advice for LAS professionals, career advice for IST professionals, writing cover letters, resumes. The one that we are most particularly interested in is on April 3rd, developing interviewing skills. And that's the one that we had talked about, maybe doing some kind of fair where people come in and practice interviewing with professionals. So instead of us actually doing our own, we've kind of gotten on the tailcoats of SAASC, and they've already worked with the Career Center and have these workshops going. So talking to Jessica, she said all we have to do is just advertise within our own organizations, and then we get our name on all of the official advertising, which is awesome. She also wants people to volunteer, set up, and taking down at these if we can get people to. So I have a list of what they are, the times they're at, what they are, and then if any of you want to sign up, let me know. You can do it today or email me. She sent an email about these, so you should have it. If you don't, just let me know, and I'll let you know. We'll post it on the website and whatnot too. So if you're interested, let me know. She needs 1 to 2 people for all 6 events, and they all tend to be on. They're every day of the week, but they're from 5:30 to 7:30. So if you guys could volunteer, that would be fantastic. And then I'll get you in touch with her. Did I forget anything about that? No? Okay, good. Okay, next, Amy had emailed me because a man named Mark Beal, he's an archivist at Marquette. He is a part of the Academy of Certified Archivists and wants to provide a presentation at one of our meetings about this certification process. He has a PowerPoint that they've created, and it would be fantastic for us to know about it, but it would also be great for distance education students. So he's interested. We had talked about maybe the March meeting, him coming in. It's an hour long, and so that would pretty much be the entire meeting. But does that sound like a good idea? I think at least to get one guest speaker in would be great. And he would talk about the whole process and then the benefits of it too, and then there'll be a question and answer session. So
yeah, just get a different room for it if you can.
A different room.
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder if because the only problem with that is that Wendy said that there aren't really rooms available. Well, if we do it on a Monday though, it might be different. I'll maybe email him too and ask him about what would work.
Yeah, if he needs technology, ask him if he needs, slides. The other option we might have would be something like, I think Bolton 289 is still in play. That might be a possibility.
And that's a bigger one too. I like
Yeah.
that, so that we can get a lot more people.
Yeah.
Do you think the 4:30 to 5:30, or should I move it up if other people are maybe?
Why don't we see when the room is available?
Okay. But I talked to Wendy still?
Yeah.
Okay. Wendy, my best friend.
Wendy, your best friend.
Yeah.
If it's not her, she can tell me how to. But that might be a good option because there's technology there. It's easy to get our recording there, and it's a bigger location.
Would you recommend we do advertising for that too?
I would, yes, because the ACA. Hi, come on in. Hi. The ACA is it's of interest to students, who are primarily archivists, but it's open and anybody can take the exam. You just have to have studied for it. So there may be, in fact, depending on the number of people that we have, the number of student response that we have, we might want to open it up to the greater archives community here and invite people, archivists because there's always a discussion in the profession about the value of the certified archivist. It's becoming more accepted, but there's still, there's still kind of those people who say, no, it's not necessary, and then there are people who are saying, yes, it's absolutely necessary. So it might be an interesting opportunity to open up our meeting a little bit and get a larger community.
I just remember too, we probably have to do one of those speaker contract things again. So we'll try for March, and we'll see if I can get that done in Omaha.
Okay.
And then maybe April if,
Is that for the student org?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But now we know what to do, so it'll go a lot.
Okay,
it'll
we'll
go
go a lot
easier this
faster,
time.
okay.
So, okay, so I'll start working on that then, and then if you wanna help me with advertising again, since you know what you're doing, then we'll double
She's
check that.
really easy to work with.
And then if you wanna, once I figure out the date and time, if you wanna do technology again, just contact me then. Okay, cool. Alright, next on the list, the Midwest Archives Conference. That is Grand Rapids, Michigan, April 19th through the 21st. We have funding because you guys are awesome and do so well at the Kringle sale, so we have money to spend. So the officers had talked about spending some of that money on scholarships to attend the MAP conference. So I first want to ask, is anybody thinking about going? I know it's like crazy time and it's a month away. Anybody? Anybody?
Going on a different conference.
Are you?
Someone on here,
The AASLH.
one. Yeah, the
Okay.
National Public, National.
OAH.
History, yeah.
Yeah. OAC, yeah.
Would anybody be interested in going if there was significant funding? Would that influence anybody? Possibly. Because I don't know if you guys noticed, Nick sent out that email a few days ago about seeing if other people in the concentration are interested and if funding would influence their interest in going. So we're gonna wait a week probably and see if and when people respond and what their responses are. And then we're considering how much to give, whether it's going to be just for travel or if it's going to be half or just registration. And so that will probably happen. We just have to figure out what the interest is because it's kind of a weird time towards the end of the semester. So
Yeah, unfortunately, MAC has never quite, it's a bad time for conferences for them. They want to encourage students to attend, they're very student-friendly, MAC is a great organization, and they can never make it so that their conference does not fall at the end of the semester for most of you. So, most of you, and for me as well. So it really, but it's a great opportunity, and with SAA being in San Diego this year, we're much less, we're much less likely to be able to provide funding for students to get to SAA this year. So MAC is kind of the regional archives conference of choice if you want to go to one. Now, I recognize too that the OAH has got their conference going the very same weekend, and
Oh,
they're here
really?
in and they're here in Milwaukee. So, and maybe that we just don't have a large student presence at all.
right, if we have to do one or two people but give more, that might be. The other thing too, to encourage you to go, I've been noticing applying for jobs lately that a lot of them request professional development experience, and that, even just being a part of a professional organization, and being able to go and say you went is something that
Yes.
is so
Right.
it's another good reason. So we'll talk about that probably really, really briefly next. If Mark comes in, we'll talk about that at the next meeting, and you probably will be seeing emails as we try to determine how we'll pick people and all that kind of stuff too. But just to let you know that they will be there. Hopefully you guys can apply. I forgot to mention, there's a volunteer opportunity. I talked to, I don't know if you know, Rose Fortier. She works at Milwaukee Public Library. She is the photo specialist, I think. That's probably a more technical term. Yeah, and I do it, and she needs volunteers desperately because she only has like 2 field workers this semester. So if you're interested, I go Fridays for 4 hours, and pretty much what you do is she has a couple different collections. There's a recipe collection from the Journal Sentinel, and there's a World War I Mothers of the War effort or something, where you're digitizing photos and you're inserting metadata. You're using Content Dion in Photoshop, all these, and it's amazing experience to get. And she'll take anybody, and she's like the nicest person ever. And so,
Show you how to do all that?
oh, she like holds your hand through
Okay.
everything. So
Yeah, Rose is great. We do a lot of field work with the Milwaukee Public Library. We do some with Rose. We send some people to the city archives to work with Gail Eklund. It's a great opportunity. Rose's projects, yeah, she's always hounding me to send her more students, and they love our students, and they do a good job in training. It's great experience. More experience on your resumes is better. So,
well, too, I told her that I was interested in photos, and immediately she was like, okay, well, you've done this, but let's focus it a little bit more and give you more specific experience for those jobs that you're applying for. So she's completely willing to tailor it to what you're interested in.
yeah.
So, if you want to do that, if you're interested, I have her email address. I'm just gonna yell it out really quick, and then if you need it, just let me know. It's capital R, lowercase o, capital F, lowercase o, R-T-I, at milwaukee.gov. So just email her and tell her you're interested in digitization. You can say that you talked to me. And yeah, she'll take anybody, and she's really flexible with time too. So
Can't do it this semester, maybe it'll be an option for this summer too, because I did some volunteer work down at MPL over the summer, a couple hours a week.
And Gail Eklund takes a lot of people too. You can always contact Rose to get to Gail if you're interested in more arrangement, description, process.
And if you're interested in doing it for field work, let me know, because I place field work there every semester.
And Nick's doing it there, and Katie Hash is in this work too. So if you want to even learn more about it, they'd be great people to ask too. Okay, last thing, really quick. We are going to go on a tour of the Wisconsin Historical Society. Have any of you guys been there? You have been there? Okay. This is going to be like behind the scenes action, hopefully. We talked about going April, possibly it's a Friday, possibly the 6th or the 13th. Oh yeah, you're kind of the one that, Amy, if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say, Amy had given me a receipt, and I just like contacted him, and he said that for either dates, April 6th or April 13th would work, so kind of, if we could like choose a date, and then he also would like to know what we're interested in seeing, so we can contact people that we could talk to, and give tours, and he also suggested us meeting with their, SAA student chapter, and meeting up for like a beer or something at the time we're there. To give just an idea what's going on, we are thinking of taking the Badger bus to get down there, and it would drop us off at Memorial Square?
Union.
At about 10:20.
Which is right on campus.
Yep,
Right.
it's right on campus, so
It's
it's
right
there.
across the street from the historical society.
And then leaving, I think 3:15 is the time the bus leaves. So spending a good day there, taking a break for lunch, meeting with their student chapter. And the price, the way we're going to do this is each student would be responsible for getting a ticket to go there. And we can pass along all that information to you. And then we had talked about covering some
Half
costs.
or a little bit under half.
Yeah,
Because it's
it'll be $36.
$36.
Yeah, 18.
So we would cover, depending on how many people can go, will determine how much we can reimburse. So if 20 people go, we could probably only do about less than half. But if 4 people go, then we can probably cover a lot more. So we're gonna get an idea of how many people can go, but again, you're responsible for getting your own ticket, and then we'll reimburse you once you give us the receipt. So we would meet right at the Badger bus at like 8:15, I think we had said, and then ride all together, and then go right, we'll get there at like 10:30, go right in. And what we had talked about doing was taking a tour of the stacks, I guess you'd call them, behind closed stacks. Rachel and I actually went on a tour for our 650 class, so I don't know if we want to talk about what we did, but we went to other media type stuff. We went where all the processing was taking place, and we went to a conservation lab. They actually have a conservationist, so that was really great to see. And then they had some digitization stuff going on too.
I was gonna say their digitization unit is worth seeing as well.
Yeah. And so those are kind of the things that we were thinking about doing there. And they're all really nice there, and they know a lot about what's going on too in the field. So I don't know if anybody has any specific things that they're interested in seeing. That's kind of what we had decided. Did we think of anything else? No? Yes.
I think it'd be cool to talk to, I know that they have a few genealogy people that are really, good and might have a lot
Like
to say.
reference?
Yeah.
Okay. Do that, thanks. Yeah, and their reading room is really interesting too. It's
It's really nice.
yeah, it's really nice. But it's funny too because they have like a really old card catalog too there. Some a little bit older mixed in with yeah. It'll
Well,
be
their like back room is full of card catalog. It's like all entirely focused like card catalog.
and it's really just a beautiful place anyway. Very like historic Roman features. I don't know. I think you'll all be very impressed. But if there's anything else that you guys can think of, just shoot me an email and I'll shoot Rachel an email
Yeah,
and we'll
you can, email me. I'll send out an email to everybody, but I would like to get a date, nailed down as quickly as possible.
yeah, does anybody have a preference? Do Fridays work? Okay.
Both days
The
are
6th or the
Friday,
13th?
6th or the 13th.
Both would work.
Both would work for you. Okay. Okay. I say let's just do the 6th because the 13th is close to.
The 13th
Friday
is
the
closer to,
13th.
well, the 13th is closer to Matt.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So I would suggest the 6th.
Okay. Let's plan on the 6th. And you can keep me posted. And so we'll just confirm all that information again at the next meeting.
And again, if there's something you really wanna see, give me an email.
I am from Madison, so if you have questions about where things are or whatever.
And that's the thing too, I should say that about, you don't have to stay with us the whole entire time. I mean, if you wanna leave earlier, you have to. That's what's great about the Badger bus is that it's constantly going back and
I
forth.
probably
so.
would drive myself and then I could
Sure.
spend something in it.
Yep.
The reason that we had talked about the Badger bus was rather than having to try and coordinate carpools or renting, taking a rental van or taking, it really depends because oftentimes people get into, they say, oh yes, I'm going, and then they start dropping out. In the last field trip that we did down to Chicago, we did rent a van first, and then we got more people that said, oh, we're going, so we actually rented a bus, and at the last minute, a bunch of people dropped, and so we wound up with like 8 or 9 people on this great big bus, which was terrible. So we just decided that, the officers, we talked about it, and as a group, thought it would be better to do something like the Badger bus, where we could reimburse a part of the cost of transportation, but not take the hit if if all of a sudden everybody decides it's too close to the end of the semester and I can't possibly go.
But if you are going to drive, make sure that if you say you're going to do it, just make sure you do it because we don't want to wait and deal with that. So just confirm it with us. But yeah, that's. Other than that, that's all I had, which I think it went really fast actually. Does anybody else have any? Yes.
I have one thing.
Okay.
And I hate to try and, you guys need to start thinking about, succession planning
Oh yeah.
for leadership here. Because as far as I know, we've got the entire leadership who's graduating.
Yep.
Except Andrew.
You're not graduating?
No.
Okay. Whew. President.
Yeah, we'll see.
But we need to really think about that, and that's something, something that I just wanna give the heads up. It's a small meeting today, so there needs to be just a general thought about how we're gonna go about this, but something to think about. And if you're interested in getting involved, if you're gonna be around for a couple of years and you're interested in getting involved, talk to one of the officers right now. The officers this year have done a fabulous job of keeping this student organization moving and actually moving it forward. And I don't wanna see us lose that momentum, I really don't. It's been a great year, and,
We've set it up too, so it's an easy transition now, where it'll be a lot easier to go in and then do what we did and do some of the same events or, branch out and make it better, but it'll be a lot. And two, I have used this for so many job descriptions, and oh my gosh, it's been crazy, like it's been so much great. A lot of job applications expect you to write about leadership and have all these types of skills, and it's perfect, so. Amy told me to do it when I first met her, and I think she told Rachel to do it too, and then we did. It's been great, so I really hope you guys do it. And usually they occur in April, right? Elections?
well,
That's been
we wanna make sure that there's enough time.
right.
So you guys can set up the elections, you guys
Okay.
can set up when they actually happen, but we wanna make sure that there's enough time for some overlap between the outgoing officers and the incoming officers. Even if it's just a meeting or two.
Because that helped too.
It did, cause you guys met with the last batch.
If you have interest in a specific position, just come talk to us, email us, whatever.
It doesn't have to be a normal position, it can be like media advisor.
Yeah. What are you
Doesn't have to be
in?
president.
Technology specialist.
Yeah, couldn't think of anything better.
But yeah, I mean, and you can create them, you just have to have 4 or 3
Yeah.
to have them,
Doesn't
so,
matter what they are.
yeah,
We do need a president.
right. That's the only one that's set in stone, sorry.
We need one person who's willing to take the helm.
And it's really fun if you have good people too, so. But yeah, so if you guys wanna volunteer, just come talk to me, sign up or email me and let me know. Or I'll hound all of you by email until people sign up, so just warning you. Other than that, is there anything else, anybody? No? Okay, we'll try next time on a Monday. I'll see if I can get maybe a better room too, because Tuesdays were tough to get, so maybe I can get one.
Right, and next time will be
Yes,
Markfield.
so, never mind. So,
Well, no,
289.
yeah,
Both.
but
Okay.
if it, maybe making Markfield on a Monday is a better idea, because there are so many